Hey, this is Jessica from goodenoughandstuff.com. Let's make some fast and really delicious pizza. If you've got a lot of people to feed because it's the holidays, or you've just got a big family like us and you're short on time, this pizza's for you. Some people call this like grandma style pizza or school lunch pizza. Whatever you want to call it, this is the best homemade pizza for sure because it tastes really good and it doesn't take very long. The reason it's so quick is because you don't have to let the dough rise, and that is music to my ears. Along with the actual ingredients for the pizza, there are a few things you absolutely need to be successful. First, you need a stand mixer or hand mixer because you'll see in a minute that the dough is going to be really soft and sticky, and you want to be able to really mix it thoroughly and get it stretchy. That would be really difficult to do by hand because it's just too sticky. Second, you need the spray oil because the pizza bakes the best on foil, and you need to make the foil non-stick. Just putting a layer of regular oil does not cut it. I promise it will stick, and if you've ever made a meal where the entire bottom has foil stuck to it, and you try to pull it off so you can eat it, but it only rips off in the tiniest pieces possible, then you understand the highest levels of frustration and despair. Can you tell I'm speaking from experience? I've made this mistake with pizza, and I distinctly remember doing this with cinnamon rolls as a kid. Don't do that to yourself and your family. Make sure you have the cooking spray before you start. Third, you need heavy-duty foil instead of regular foil because it makes serving and cleanup way easier, and you can kind of transfer the whole pizza without ripping the foil. And the fourth thing you really need is 2 half-sheet pans. They're the biggest ones you'll find in a normal kitchen, somewhere between like 13 by 18 inches or like 15 by 21 or something. The bigger the pan you get, the more pizza squares you can have, so this is really good. Alright, let's get to it so you can make the pizza for tonight. Turn your oven on to 400 degrees and let it preheat while you put everything together. In your stand mixer, combine 2 cups of warm water, 4.5 teaspoons of instant yeast, that's 2 packets of yeast by the way, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2.5 teaspoons of salt, and 6 tablespoons of vegetable oil. If you want to check to see if the yeast is still active, let this sit for a few minutes. If it gets a little foamy, then the yeast is good. I keep my yeast sealed in the freezer, so I'm not really worried about it being dead. I just dump the flour in right away. This is how I always scoop flour, by the way. I fluff it up first and then I scoop it. Sometimes flour can kind of get compacted and then you get more in a scoop than you wanted. You can always add a little more flour, but you can't take it away, so I just floof it first. Mix in 4 cups of flour one at a time so it doesn't fly everywhere. Once the flour is mostly in, turn it up to high and let it mix for at least 2 minutes. You want it to almost look like frosting, except like really stretchy. Let that rest while you get the pans prepared. Line your 2 half-sheet baking trays with foil and spray liberally with the cooking oil spray. Get all the sides too. Pour some of the vegetable oil into a little bowl and put it by the pan so you can dip your fingers in it to keep the dough from sticking to your hands too much. Now get your hands oily and split the dough in half and put it into the pans. Spread the dough out to the corners of the pan and keep dipping your fingers in the oil as you go. You can even pour oil over the dough if you need to. It doesn't make the bread too oily once it's baked. If you're having trouble stretching the dough on one pan, let it rest a few minutes while you work on the other and then come back to it. Poke the dough with your fingers to make dimples to get it to stay stretched out. This also creates pockets everywhere for the sauce to pool. Yum. It's okay if you make some holes in the dough. Just pinch it back together as best you can and it'll puff up and seal back together when it bakes. I used 1 24-ounce can of spaghetti sauce for both pizzas. I just eyeball it and pour half on one and half on the other. Spread the sauce evenly, then sprinkle on a generous cup of mozzarella cheese on each pizza. So that's like 2 cups of cheese total. And then just add the rest of your toppings. On this pizza I put onions, red bell peppers, pepperoni, pineapple, and ham. Some of the toppings were just on one side because some of the kids wouldn't like them. We've tried a lot of toppings, but our go-to is usually a combination of pepperoni, pineapple, and just plain cheese pizza. Bake the pizzas one at a time for 15 to 17 minutes each. Check to see if they're done by lifting up the edge. It should be golden brown underneath, and the top should have a melty kind of browned cheese as well. One time we did a supreme pizza with all kinds of stuff on it, and we even put eggs on it. It was so delicious, and the eggs were runny and perfect. I tried putting on a few eggs on one of these pizzas for just like the last 10 minutes, but they weren't cooked enough by the end, so then I stuck them right under the broiler for a couple of minutes, but no, just no. They were like weirdly rubbery, and they did not work. They were gross. I don't remember how we did it before, but it was so magical and perfectly cooked, and this just wasn't it. Oh well, they ate them anyway because the pizza is still good even with weird stuff on it. Leave a comment about what your favorite pizza topping is, and what's the weirdest thing you've ever had on a pizza?
Hi.
Once the pizzas are done, I have a ravenous horde of children who want to get at it right away, so I just bring the pan over to the table and use the foil to slide the whole thing out. You might have to loosen the sides a little by running a knife along the edge. Yes, I am a heathen who puts the pizza directly on our table, but it's just way easier to cut this way, and then all I have to do is throw the foil away and wipe the table off. We often don't even bother with plates. Everyone just kind of huddles around and eats like a caveman. Now you just cut the pizza into squares and enjoy.
The moon is full, the stars are bright. I call you up just to hear your voice on the machine. Nothing will be like it was, but you will always be my first choice, just as it seems. So I left the house broken. I walked these dirty streets for years. I left it all to see you, to wipe up all your tears.
Hey, thanks for watching my video. I hope you liked it. I make this pizza probably a few times a month at least, sometimes once a week. And it's a really big hit with the kids, and I love it too. It's so good. So I hope you try it. It's really easy, it's simple, and you can totally do it. You can find the free printable recipe for this pizza on my blog, goodenoughandstuff.com, and I will put a link down below. You can also find dinner recipes, craft recipes. You can find dinner recipes, craft like tutorials and sewing tutorials, and all kinds of fun things there. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.
The sun is up, the clouds are gone, but I'm still here with wounds on my feet. Where will you be? If I left the house broken, I walked these dirty streets for years. I left it all to see you, to wipe up all your tears.
Hi. I want my pizza
Okay.
and my bowl and my plate.